Oh. Sairam, everyone.
Sairam.
Just to recollect what we were discussing last week, Swami is talking about the effect of Maya. Swami explained what were the two Shaktis which operate, one which covers and one which projects, Vikshepa and Avarana. So Swami further divided the Avarana Shakti, which is covering, into two, Asat Avarana and Abhasa Avarana. And Swami went on to explain and what it does and how we can get over that Maya. Those were the points which we're discussing. I will ask Sister Kalyani to continue from there. Saira.
Swami, when there is only the Advaita, non-dual one, how did the creation of all these worlds happen? Swami, you have come back again to where we started from. Even if I tell you now, it is very hard to grasp. Since you have asked, I shall tell you. Listen, the Ajnana Shakti exists in the latent form in the rope itself. That is to say, it is latent, unmanifested in the Brahman. This is also called avidya. It has as its base Brahman, which is Chit and Ananda. Of the two powers that Maya has, the Avarana and the Vikshepa, the Avarana veils the Brahman and the Vikshepa makes it manifest as Manas. The Manas creates all this panorama of name and form through the exuberance of vasanas.
Thank you very much, Sister. I think we discussed this. I think there were questions on Ajnana Shakti and so on. I think I remember Sister Ananti asking. And we had covered most of it in my understanding, as I remember. I will ask anyone who would like to comment or ask any questions. Please go ahead. Sorry.
Sairam, is there another way to say the exuberance of vasanas? Like what, just to help me understand that a bit more, is there another way that that could be phrased in the last sentence?
The Manas creates all this panorama of name and form through the exuberance of vasanas. I think Auntie Mani, if she's there, she can tell the exact Telugu version. I think we can discuss. Auntie, if you can.
I can read this from Telugu version.
Yes, Auntie.
ఈ అజ్ఞాన శక్తి నానావిధ నామరూప కల్పనకు కారణం. చిద్రూపమైన మై ఆనందమయుండు బ్రహ్మమును ఆశ్రయించును. So this అజ్ఞాన శక్తి depends on, it is the basis, this substratum is Brahman. That is to say, Brahman has got these Maya Shakti powers. These two powers, Vikshepa Shakti and Avarana Shakti. So Brahma Karanam Chidrupamai Anandamayundu Brahmamuna Ashrinchuno. So Maya has dependent on Brahman as its base, as its substratum. ఈ మాయకు గల ఆవరణ విక్షేపములని రెండు శక్తులందు ఆవరణ శక్తి చేత అద్వైతమై తన అధిష్టానమయ్యుండు బ్రహ్మమును కప్పుకొని విక్షేప శక్తి చేత అవ్యక్తమై మనస్సును పేరుతో వాక్యమున విజృంభించును. So we now understand those two Shaktis, two powers of the Maya. But its substratum is Brahman. Brahman has got these two powers. They are under his control. But what happens is, the Avarana completely covers Brahman and Vikshepa is acting as our mind. That's what he's saying. Avarana veils the Brahman, the Vikshepa Shakti makes it manifest as Manas. But, that's what it's, and because of these vasanas, exuberance of vasanas, itlu Maya Manorupamai Parminchi Nana Vasanaluku, Tana Vilasumuche, Bahuvida Nama Rupa, Prapanchumalannintini, Topinchuchunadi. So, because
I think, Swami has used the word Vilasamu, auntie.
Vilasamu.
Vilasamuche, other there they have translated as exuberance. And that is Kalyani's question.
Okay.
How do they call exuberance? Vilasam is the one which word has been translated.
It is the play. Vilasa is the play of all the
vasanas.
Vilasa is the play of all the it results in Bahuvida Nama Rupa Prapancha. All this pluralistic word with the name and rupa is because of this. These two Shaktis of Brahman, which is expressed in Manas. It manifests as Manas. And the Manas creates all the pluralistic world of outside, external world. Sairam. I think that's the reason.
Thank you very much, auntie. So are you okay, Kalyani? That's the word you wanted to understand, no? Exuberance. The word is Vilasa because there's no good translation in English. Basically something which, the play. I think, auntie, I think that's the best we can say. I think in Tamil, they have the word Vilasam. Vilasam also means address, they will say. But, where something, it's manifesting itself or, playing, variety of meanings for Vilasam.
Yeah.
And I think we probably talked about it last time as well, but if you could just explain again, because the world, it's because it's saying that the Vikshepa Shakti manifests as Manas. So it makes it seem like the entire world is just a projection of your own mind. But that can't be true, right? Because if my mind dies, the world still exists. So what does that really mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a very good question. I think we discussed this as Sat Asat. The thing is, the rope is there. Okay, but snake is not there. Okay, the creation of the snake happens in the mind. So the way each of us perceive this world is based on our own mind, our own thought process. Even if we say this person is good, this person is bad, is ultimately our mind is projecting that image and defining it.
Yeah.
Even if that exists. Okay, so I think that's what I understand, but I will ask others to share their thoughts. Sorry.
The entire creation is on the substratum of Brahman. This creation which we all perceive is from our own minds. Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari in Dakshinamurti Stotram. Nijantargatam. Actually, it is from your mind, you are looking at the external world. World is present in you, in your own manas, in your own mind.
Sairan, thank you, Andy. So suppose I became a jnani and I have no mind and I merged, okay? So will the world be existing even after my, for me it is nothing, no?
Yeah, for you nothing.
Yeah.
But the world still exists.
Yeah.
World will go on existing.
Yeah, that's what Kalyani is asking. Yeah.
You don't have anything to do with the world. Once when we realize that it's Brahman.
So the for an individual, the vasanas, the instinct of the previous births are coming along with us. It is lying in our subconscious mind, and through that play of vasanas, okay, let us say play of vasana, through the play of vasanas, we project a mind. That is the Vikshevam. that mind, when it has names and forms, the world appears. That is what it is here in this paragraph. So, as we just discussed, when an individual gets liberation, still this world is there. World is there. The Maya, the energy is there, but the difference between person to person is depending on the vasanas, as brother explained. So, depending on my vasanas, I will look at the things according to my understanding. For me, it is bad. That person is bad. For another person, that person is good. So the good and bad is not on the person, on that outside person. That is in me and in the person, no? The person who is looking at it. So everything is a play of the vasanas. So according to the vasanas, we see the world. That is right from the beginning. Thank you, sir.
Sairam, I just want to know, it may be a question also even. No, that the Swami at the beginning says that even if I tell you now, it is very hard to grasp.
Yeah.
So already Swami has said, even if it's not easy to grasp this, but the I don't know. There's a word Sivadas might. I forgot about that. Is the mana? The manas creates all this panorama, name and form through the vasanas. That part is not that difficult, but the avarana and vikshepa that veils the avarana veils the Brahman and vikshepa makes it manifest manas. So that part I would like to get a bit more clarity. The vikshepa makes it manifest as manas of who? For who? Is it for who that the avarana and vikshepa, that Maya is has the base as Brahman. Yeah. So, but it so again avarana veils the Brahman, but vikshepa makes it manifest as manas or for makes it manifest as manas for who? For whose manas? Is it for Brahman or is it for individual soul? Or?
Sairam brother, last exactly you were not here. So we were discussing this actually. So in each individual is basically Brahman. I am also Brahman, you also Brahman.
Yeah, that's
right. Basically Brahman. So in that Brahman, inside, as part and parcel, there is a power called Maya, or sometimes we call it Avidya, because when it's individualized, it's called Avidya. Sister Manivasian explained that. So you can say Maya. So Maya power is in Brahman. This is nothing separate from Brahman. Everything is Brahman in fact. So in me, I am basically Brahman, but in me there's a power, Maya in me. So it manifests two ways. It has two prongs, two branches. So one is Avarana Shakti and one is Vikshava Shakti. Avarana, what Avarana Shakti, if you go to the rope example, so in the dimmed light, the piece of rope lies there, but my Avarana Shakti hide that rope. That's the first part of the Maya. But it is not there. But instead, hiding and at the same time is putting something on it. superimposing something on it. The snake is superimposed on the rock. That is Vikshevam. So whatever we see around is Vikshevam. But basically whatever see is Brahman. Everything is Brahman, but we see this multi name and form of the world. That is what we were discussing last time.
Okay,
But last that's okay. But now here the Bhagavan is bringing mind. No, that's a question now. So Bhagavan is saying now in another way of saying, Bhagavan is saying the mind is the Vikshevam. Mind is the Vikshevam, and the enlargement of the mind is this.
Sairam, sure, that part I understand. Yeah, but the thing is already, as I already said, as I said, is difficult to understand even if I tell you. And the Bhakta's question is, there is only the Advaita non-dual one, then the creation of all these worlds, how it happened. So this, all that you said is, at least intellectually we can understand to some extent, but the manner, the Viksheba makes it manifest as manners for the as you said, it's only Brahman. Even we are basically Atma, Brahman. So it's for Brahman only. So sometimes I think there's a word, right? It's that philosophy as a little bit. No, all this is the dream of Brahman. So we say the world is a dream. So when usually we say it, we think that it's dream for us, because as we have, when we sleep, we have dream, and when we wake, we see this world, Jagrata, that's also a dream. But is it the dream of Brahman? That's what I'm. Because basically, as you said, it's only Brahman, right? So no, I'm trying to connect this question. There is only Advaita non-dual one. So all this happened also that way. So that's why even if an individual Atma, Jivatma, whatever, or the shadow Jivatma, one they realize for that Vyakti or that soul, it's all clear. Now he sees only Brahman, but the others, for all others, this keep going on. This exists, still exists. But basically, that's a question Bhagda asks. So basically, there is only Brahman. So is all this happens for Brahman only? Is that correct?
Yes,
what I am trying.
Yes, only one minute. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so Sairam, if there is no vasanas in me, I will not see this multiplicity. So the individuals have vasanas from previous births. So the jnani who does not have vasana will not see this multiplicity. That he will not see that. He only he is Brahman. He is in Brahman, and everything is Brahman for him. He is Brahman. He sees himself. We studied that. No?
Yeah, that's clear. That's clear. That part is clear.
So only the vasanas is creating this world for us. That's
again, the question is, that's the question of the Bhakta, that the vasanas for who? There is only one. There is only one. So even the vasanas is for.
Yeah. That is what Bhagavan put it as hard to grasp. We don't know how we take birth, no? How we accumulated the vasanas in the previous birth, we don't know. When did originate? My birth originated, we don't know. How come
basically that's why Swami said it's difficult to grasp. Yeah. So,
1 minute, Arun.
Yes,
can I read that from?
Yes.
Itlu, what in Telugu translation? Itlu Maya Manorupamai Parinaminchi. That word is there. Yes. Manorupamai, it's manifest, it is written here, but actually it transforms itself into mind. So with the help of these vasanas, Tana Nanavida Vasana Lagu, Tana Vilasumuche. Because of these vasanas interacting with that Maya in the mind of an individual. That's what brother is asking. In the individual, it acts as a mind, and it projects itself as this multifarious world. That's what it's. Parinaminchi Nana Vida Vasana Lagu, Tana Vilasumuche, Bahuvida Nama Rupa Prapanchamulannintini To Pinchuchunnade. It is just, it's showing up as pluralistic word. That's what Swami has written. So the word Manorupamai Parinaminchi, that is, that's the thing which I think that brother is asking. Whose mind he is asking?
Yeah, Auntie. That's even in English. I think that's pretty clear. The manas Maya becomes the Vikshapa part of Maya manifests as manas, and manas, as you said, creates this exuberance and all that, and of exuberance of vasanas.
That is it.
Right.
It's the play of the vasanas.
Oh, okay. So
Maya plays with the vasanas and creates this word.
Right. Yeah. So we can I guess we can understand it as all this happens for the Jivatma or the shadow. And
your own mind. Your own mind is creating.
Right.
That.
Okay.
Saira.
So Saira, brother. So if I'm coming to the brother Sivada's thing, if we don't have mind, if you're a jnani and you don't have the body conscious, so Maya is created by the Lord to understand the Lord. So without the Maya, you cannot reach Lord. So if you don't have mind, you have only Atmic conscious. That's what Swami always never say, ladies and gentlemen. He says Atma Swarupa. He always say that words. He never mention ladies and gentlemen or boys or anything. So he look at everyone as a Atma. That is my understanding. So the mind is the one creating the panorama of the object of the world. If the person is understood, he will look at Advaita status, everything one. He doesn't differentiate, even that if wife stand in front of him, or the children stand, or next door neighbor, even dog stand in front of him, everything he will show as one thing, one Atma. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would say? Maybe I will also share some thoughts about this. I think Brother Vimala's question is, if everything is one and I am Brahman, how can the mind affect me? I think that's if it happens to me, can't it happen to the Brahman itself? Is the question. See, I think sometimes when we say I am Brahman, I don't know whether we understand the essence of that statement. From my understanding, if you take a drop which comes out of the ocean, says I am a separate entity, I'm independent, okay, then all the problems start. But the drop, if it thinks I am from the ocean, I am part of the ocean, I am the ocean itself, all this problem will not show up. So the thing is, this mind comes into play only for the drop. The mind does not affect the Brahman as a whole. But when we say I am God, that does not mean that now I have all power, so anything like that. No, I have the essence of God in me, and that is what makes the real I. That's my understanding, brother. So once that distinction is made, I am separate from the Brahman, then mind takes over. Once the mind takes over, then we identify with the mind and see what it does. So the mind only comes into being for an entity which says I am different from the Brahman. Okay, as soon as it realizes that I am Brahman, the problem stops. And Swami actually talked about mind and all that in the, I think, first chapter, if I remember correctly. Swami gave the example of a cinema theater. So, for example, I'm on the street, there is sunlight, I don't see anything. But I come into a cinema hall or film theater where there's a movie running. Okay. What has happened? I'm coming from broad daylight into a place where there is no light. So once there is no light, which I consider avarana, which basically it covers everything, you really can't make out anything. Then at that time, what happens? There is a small light and it is going through the projector and it is flashing something on the screen. Then I'm seeing the screen, that is the projection power of the manas. I think Swami said that small light, when it comes through that small slit, that becomes manas, and then it projects all the pictures. Then Swami goes on to say, if you turn on the light, then even if the projector is working, on the screen you will not see any of the objects. But the problem is a person who has come into the theater who doesn't know that it is a cinema film playing, it's a story, it is not even real, because of it's dark, because he is seeing the project without any discrimination, he thinks, okay, this is something real. Just the way he saw outside, he thinks this is also real world. And he gets engrossed in it. But a person, a jnani, when he comes in, he is fully aware that this is a cinema theater. This is being projected by the mind. Even if he comes into the hall, he will know, he may be, he may watch the same drama, but he will watch with the total understanding that it's a play. So for him, it is the play exists, yes, but he is also aware of the screen. He's also aware, and he thinks that is the real thing. This is just being projected. So he will not get engrossed. He will not cry. He will not laugh if some story, something happens in the story. Swami sometimes says people go into the cinema theater and cry. They will have compassion. Everything will well up in their mind when they see the film. They will say, so this person is poor, we have to help. All that they will say. But when they come out of the theater, they're back to their normal self. They will go home and fight. So he says, this is the way we are. Because in this drama, we have all good, when we see the world, all good compassion and all that comes out. But he says that is only for the theater, the film. We get so engrossed. So my understanding is the manas applies to an individual self like a drop which has come out of the ocean, which thinks that it's different and it has forgotten that it has come from the ocean. But once it realizes that I am part of the ocean, none of this will affect it, even if it's a witness. Even there's mind, it will know that it's a mind which is playing, but I don't need to identify it with myself. Is my understanding, brother? I don't know whether it's.
Yes,
I think that make it a bit more clear. But the question implied the beginning of things. I think that how all this started. Usually that question is asked, right? But so all what you said makes sense. But then we should we take it as that's why again Swami said is difficult to grasp. But then how these all the creation of all these worlds happened, how all these started, that's a question, right? So when we consider the questions at the beginning, they couldn't have any vasanas, because it talks about the very beginning. So something we cannot understand makes this happened as a mana, as this creates, and then all the, say for the sake of the name, for the jivatmas, all got into this, and then after that all that makes sense. Or as you explained, when one individual progress spiritually, then when he enlightened, when he get out of all this. For him, there is only Brahman. So
Yeah.
okay, thank you,
Okay,
Sai.
thank you, brother. I know there are some questions which we can never fathom, as you said, which Swami himself has said.
Yeah, that is the thing. Yeah, Sai.
I think if everyone is okay, we can progress. Okay.
Bhakta. Wonderful, Swami. How wonderful is this Prakriti? What is the distinction between the waking stage and the dream stage? Swami. Both are of the nature of illusion. In both, we have the vasanas operating. The Jagrata, waking, is the stable illusion. The dream is the unstable illusion. This is the distinction. There is no other. Bhakta. Swami, how can it be said that this Jagat is unreal when it is concrete and capable of being experienced in a variety of ways? Swami, it is a delusion that hides the reality from the understanding. The Jagat is as much a superimposition on Brahman as a series of pictures on a wall.
Thank you very much. So again, I think Swami is sort of referring to the same thing on the pictures on the wall. And Swami was also introducing the concept of Jagat as stable illusion and the dream as the unstable illusion. I think these were even discussed earlier, if I remember, in the first chapter or second chapter. Swami is talking about waking stage and the dream stage.
Yeah.
So I will, I think others have, I'm sure, have something to say. Please go ahead. Anyone can share your thoughts, please.
Sairam, both in the waking state and the dream state, the vasana is working. Vasana stops working in the deep sleep state. Even the death also, they say death also like that, like sleep. So after death, when they take up another birth, then vasana start working. So, because both the dream stage and the dream world and the waking world are based on vasanas, both are illusions. And what's the difference between dream world and waking world? Waking world is more stable, and the dream world is unstable. In comparison, because today I sleep in my bed at 5 star, and when waking, I am in the same house, and tomorrow and every day I am living in the same house. So it is stable. That waking world is stable. At least for some time stable until the vasanas got removed, or until I die, it is stable. And so dream is not stable because I see different dreams. So for both, the vasanas are the cause of these two. But the answer for the second set of second question, and the Bhakta is asking that how can it be said that Jagat is unreal?
So brother, I will just stop here. Pause.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not Jagat, it's Jagrata, unfortunately. Yeah. So what Swami is actually saying is the waking state is stable illusion. The dream state is unstable illusion. It's a very, I should have corrected.
In Telugu, Swami says, Jagrata Stira Bhranti.
Yeah.
Swapnam Astira Bhranti, not Jagat, Jagrat.
Jagrat.
The first is Jagrat. The second one is also Jagrat.
No.
Yes.
That is, how can it be said that this Jagat is unreal? There, Jagat is the proper word. In the Swami, when he's saying Jagat is stable illusion. No, Jagrat is stable illusion.
Okay.
In the second, after that, Bhakta is asking, there Jagat is the correct word.
What is mean by Jagat?
Jagat is world, ma? World.
Same thing. We were.
No, so see,
No,
Swami is saying, so
interrupt,
sorry.
sorry.
So in the statement by Swami, in the first two pair, let's take the first two pair of, one is a question and Swami's answer. In that answer, what Swami is saying is Jagrata.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, that is waking state. I think that we have to fix. But again, when the third paragraph is the Bhakta asking the question, then he is asking about Jagat.
Yeah, that's what. That's right.
Auntie Saridane?
Yes,
Thank you.
So in the first set of question, Jagrata, why that has been used to say that stable illusion there? That if you can elaborate, Brother Sivadas was saying clearly about that, but when the word changed, I couldn't connect to it.
Okay, so
Sai Ram, can
Yeah.
I interrupt for a bit?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in Sanskrit, but in Hindi it's the same, Jagath, and it says Jagat means the world, and then it says Jagat means you're awake. Jagat.
Yeah.
And Jagrat also means awake.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think there's transposition somewhere between Sanskrit and Hindi.
In Hindi, of course. In Hindi, Jago means wake up.
Yeah, and
So
you say Jagat, Sovat. Sovat means sleeping, Jagat means
but
you're...
generally we don't use Jagat in the when we are talking. It is Jagrat Avastha.
Right.
Jagrat is the waking word.
Jagruti, yeah.
Jagrati.
Yeah.
But tum jagato ho, sovato ho, that is in Hindi, we say that.
Yes.
But we don't use that word when we speak about waking state. We say it is Jagrata. Jagrat Avastha.
Right, yeah.
Thank you.
Awakened. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Brother Sivadas, now you can continue. Please.
Yeah. So for Sister Aruna, I am saying, Jagrata means waking state. So what the study circle is being conducted is in the waking state, Jagrata state. But this is stable illusion. This is stable illusion because we are recording it and we are putting in that YouTube and everything. So this is stable illusion. But the dream that we have in the night, in the sleeping, during the sleep time, that is dream. That is unstable because it is changing every day. But this, my house and my job and everything is not changing every day. It is there for some time at least. So that is stable. Jagrata is stable illusion. But both the illusion,
both are illusions.
Both are caused by the vasanas in us.
Maya.
The vasana acting through the mind, and we have this one. So it will happen. One day it will happen that like the dream. The dream, when we wake up in the morning, the dream vanishes. No meaning at all. Similarly, the jnani, one day, each of us, one day, will wake up from this waking dream. Yeah, one day. So, at that time, we will have no question. Because we are within the stable dream. It is also dream. So, that's why we are unable to find the answer. So, I think the Sister Aruna is...
Yes. Now I'm clear. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And the second one I was trying to say is that second question, the Bhakta is asking, Swami, how can it be said that this Jagat is unreal when it is concrete and capable of being experienced in a variety of ways? So very, very, very concrete. When a stone, when somebody stone at me, I feel the pain. So it is concrete. So so how can that be unreal? So Swami is saying, because of the delusion. The delusion is hiding the reality. The avarana part and the Viksho part, both are there. It is a delusion that hides the reality from understanding. And also I was saying the Jagat is as much a superimposition on Brahman as a series of pictures on the wall. Because in the cinema theater, brother explained, the cinema theater screen is permanent. It is not moving. It is permanent. That is Brahman. The pictures running on that are the world, the superimposition. So, Adara and Adeya. Adara is the screen. Adeya is the pictures running on the superimposition of the Adeya that is running on the screen. As Brother nicely said, we people, not only cinema, now you see the serial, I don't know, Manivasyaman knows that in Tamil there are serial, I don't know actually. Serial stories are going in the TV and the people are, even the men are attracted by that. So they cry, the people who look at that, they cry, they laugh, sometimes they laugh loud also, because they take it as real. So that is the human being's nature, seeing the world and take it as real. But Jnani, brother explained, the Jnani see the same world but not affected. That's the difference. So what is the basic difference is, we have vasanas and the Jnani doesn't have vasanas. That's the only difference. That's what Baba very beautifully said, that is the cause of this illusion. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Sairam, brother. So Swami is trying to explain about the Maya. That's a nicely explaining every time we are talking about the dream. When you dream and when you woke up, then you think or illusion, nothing is there. Same way, when you are real life, whatever seeing anything is going to be destroyed one day. So why do you want to go behind to the Maya? If you see a person, that person also going to die. If you see a CN tower, one day it's going to go down too. It's all made out with sand. Sand nature is coming down. So anything, whatever seeing, everything has to go down, or one day it's going to be destroyed. So believe on the real, permanent one, that is Atma, that is Sat. That's what, so whatever that unstable mean, whatever you see in the dream, stable, even though you can see physically, everything, people, car and everything, everything going to be go down, destroyed. So believe on the permanent, that is Atma, that is Sat. That is the only one real. Thank you, Saira.
Very good, Dasa.
Thank you.
So the answer to in the answer to the first question, it should be Jagrada and not Jagat, right?
Yeah. Kalyani correctly read that one also. I don't know how he got it. Kalyani read it correctly as Jagrada in the first.
No, but I thought in the discussion, I just wanted to highlight. I don't know how many people caught it.
Yeah,
so because it's on the screen, it is Jagat. That's why I said I highlight. I think Kalyani has a corrected version of the entire Sandeha Nivarini session.
Yeah, she must be.
I think if everyone is okay, maybe we'll go to the next slide.
Bhakta, avidya is said to be anadi, beginningless, isn't it? Then why is it blamed so much? Swami, the beginningless avidya is ended when vidya dawns. This is only logical. Darkness is destroyed by light. Every object has 5 parts: origin, nature, function, period, result. But in the case of the Paramatma, these cannot be enunciated, though everything that has evolved as if from him has them. Maya alone has no explicable origin. It is its own proof. It is there in Brahman with Brahman. It is anadi. No cause can be given to explain how it manifested itself so luxuriously. As a bubble rises through the force of its own nature, up from the water, a force which takes the form of Namarupa emerges from the limitless, the full, the Paramatma. That is all. It is only the ignorant who will speak ill of avidya. Really, there is no well or ill.
Thank you very much. So, Swami has said avidya is nothing bad about avidya per se, which is part of Brahman. So that's the main thing, which, and it's anadi. It's no one knows when it originated. It's as anadi as the Brahman itself. I think Swami wants that to be understood.
So it is Swami. Oh, sorry.
Yes, go ahead. I'm just asking anyone who wants to say anything.
So Swami is saying that everything that evolved as if from Brahman has these 5 parts, origin being the first part, but Maya alone has no origin. And since Swami says it is there in Brahman with Brahman, so it's almost, is it saying that Maya is not something that came from Brahman, but it is Brahman or something? Like, is there some clarification there?
It is in Brahman, it is with Brahman, Swami is saying. Actually, Maya is a power. It's a power which is inherent in Brahman. So there is no origin like that. Supposing you have some kind of a Shakti in you, say for example, memory power. Memory power is a part of you, isn't that? It has not come separately. Like that, Brahman has this Maya power inherent in him, in it rather.
Like example that we saw, the sun and the rays. So sun's power is coming in the form of rays, or the light, the heat and everything. So both same, no? The substance and its energy. Yeah. And for any object that we see in this material world, that is Maya products, these 5 are there: origin, nature, function, period, result, and Bhagawan is saying. But avidya, Bhagavan is saying, avidya has an end, beginningless, yes, because avidya, Sister Manibhashyam explained 2-3 times earlier, no? Avidya is Maya individualized. Maya, when it works in an individual, it's called avidya. So avidya is ending. When the vidya dawns, the jnani, for jnani, avidya ends. But in the case of Maya, Maya has an inexplicable origin. I say no, it's called inexplicable or no explicable. There is in Sanskrit they say anirvachaniyam. Anirvachaniyam, because it cannot be explained, but it can best be explained as part of Brahman. Is inside Brahman. So in latent power of the Brahman. So yeah. So Maya alone has explicable Maya alone has no explicable origin. It has origin, but it cannot be explained. That's the thing. So it is there in Brahman and with Brahman. It is anari. Yeah, Sairam.
It's always argued. Something has no beginning. How can it end? Something which has a beginning, it can end. People always argue about this. Avidya has no beginning, but how can it be ended? Because it says, with the knowledge, we can erase that avidya. And moreover, in Telugu translation for those 5 things which 5 parts which Swami is saying, Hetu, Swarupa. Hetu is Karanam, the origin. Swarupa, Karya, Avadhi. This is the 5 things which one more should be there, origin, nature, function. Avadhi is the period. Result is phalam.
Result,
Hetu, Swarupa, Karya, Avadhi, Phalam.
5 parts. Auntie, can you please explain the origin, nature, function, period, result? Every object has that, right? So taking an object, then you can find out the origin.
We can find out the nature.
Yes.
And what function which it does in this world.
Yeah.
And there is a period until which
everyone has a period of time.
Until it exists, and then it gives the result and it's ended.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's ended.
Thank you.
This is for the objective world. This is for the objective world, which we see as objects.
Yes, objective world. Yeah. Sairam.
Brother, Yoga Kumaran had raised his hand. So, Brother Yoga Kumaran.
Yes. When I was Kanchi already in the discourse, he said, and Brahman was awake from that meditation. He look at he is alone. So nobody is with him. So Kama Achi Kamachi Maya created. Kama Achi.
Okay, thank you, brother. Thank you. Brother,
I thought of it. I think that's why in the Shakti worship, Shakti, Mahashakti, Mahamaya, all that concept is there. So it's that's why to get rid of that, whatever sadhana we do, the grace of God or Mahashakti is very important. Without that,
Brother Dasan.
Yeah, Sairam, brother. So that's what Swami says. See, even those created Maya, you have to look at the divinity in the Maya. I mean, all movable, immovable. Even the stone or creatures or trees. That's what we pray, the stone, tree, and everything to uplift ourselves. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
One more thing. Yeah, one more thing. Brother one time said that newborn baby, they look at their leg and the hand and shake it throw from him. Because he said, how can I stick it on to stick to me? That's what he tried to shake the hand and legs to remove from his reality, because he said, how can I stick on with me? Kind of things, That's a very good explanation, because the newborn baby from our heart then took our body, and all was to see how come all is coming in my surrounded me like this. So this shaking the legs and the hands to throw it out, remove and become Atma again.
Sairam, brother, Sairam.
Sairam, brother, could you please explain the last sentence? It is only the ignorant who will speak ill of avidya. What is Swami trying to say? Really, there is no well or ill. That part, if you can explain a bit.
Okay, nice question to discuss, I guess. I will open it up for others to share their thoughts. Swami says only the ignorant will speak ill of. So the jnani doesn't speak ill. Yes, I think by virtue, I think. Anyone would like to share any thoughts, please?
Sairam, when you look at that same sentence, I also thought about the Swami in many different places. He explained about the opposite. It's like pairing, day and night, good or bad, and Vidya, Vidya, and the at the time, as a layman or as an ordinary person, I thought the everything. If it is a good, the other side is bad. If it is I also thought day is a good one, night is a dark one, and the maybe the not good one. And similarly, when I look at the Vidya and Avidya, I also thought about that. The Avidya, it's not that good. Maybe here also Swami said it is only the ignorant who will speak ill of Avidya. When I look at this sentence, I thought maybe Ajnani, is the one who will speak ill of Avidya. So that means that we don't have maybe the depth knowledge to understand this one, or maybe in the practical world, still we always compare the opposite. Whenever one event or one thing, we always readily think about or compare with the opposite side one. That's the point. It may not be a question. I thought Swami also said that there is no well or ill.
Yeah.
So in the practical world, so nothing good or bad. That's the reality, and so even someone say me, you are a bad person or good person, or Jnani will readily accept. I don't care what you say, but I am that whatever I am. But for a practical, maybe in an ordinary person, when I look at the other question, it really little concern to me in that the other, the Jagrada is the stable illusion. So that part I thoroughly understand. The dream is the unstable illusion, and the Jagrada stage, Swami nicely explained, it's a stable illusion. But still in practical life, if we thought about everything illusion, nothing is real, whether can an ordinary person lead his or her life successfully forward? That is another question. But that is my little comment on the last one. Maybe I could be a very ignorant person, or Ajnani. That's why I thought whenever it says Avidya, I thought it's not good one. I should turn into the Vidya side. That's sort of understanding I have had up until now. But Swami says this one, definitely there will be a point, and maybe whoever they elevated to the maybe Jnani level, maybe they could apply easily, but then as an ordinary person, it would be hard, without differentiating the two sides, to living in an the neutral, the balanced way. It's hard, but we should try. Yeah, always Tasan said nothing can be achieved without trying. We should try. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Anyone would like to comment on? I think there are still now 2 questions or comments which need some discussion. One was from Sister Aruna, and now Sister Ananthi has put something else. Yes, please go ahead.
Sairam, to Sister Aruna's question now, actually Anandi explained it nicely, and I can just add it. Only the ignorant. So the avidya vanishes when vidya is there. When the sun comes, darkness vanishes. Actually, so when the vidya comes, avidya no place. So the ignorant person, who ignorant means is in avidya, no? So the ignorant person may speak of ill, oh, what is this Maya? I am every day dying out for this problem, this cancer, that. So that he is the ignorant person. So when the vidya dawns, avidya has no place. So that finishes. So Bhavan said in the beginning, no, it is beginningless, avidya beginningless, but when the vidya dawns, until vidya dawns, it is there. So for a jnani or for an understanding person, avidya is no cause for any trouble, no. So that's what Bhavan saying. There's no well or ill. Only the absence of vidya is avidya. So that is one part. I will stop it here because I was not clear about the Anandi put another question. I didn't get it correctly. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts?
Brother, now brother explained when the vidya down, avidya will go away. That I get it. But who will speak ill of avidya? Why ill of avidya is there?
Because ignorant people can say that, no? Every one of us, we say, actually it's Maya. The another word is Maya. Maya individualized is avidya. The sister explained it, no? The Maya, when it works in a person, it's called avidya. So avidya, nobody likes avidya, no? So that's the reason speak ill.
Okay, thank you.
So sister, I think we have discussed this a little earlier also. For example, I have colored glasses, dark glasses. Okay, and I put that and I am driving in the night. I will meet with the accident. Okay, then I meet with the accident. I've been wearing the dark glass and going. And then I will say, because of this glass, I met with the accident. Okay. So the thing is, we blame something by it was not trying to do, because I am wearing that to do something. That is the problem, not necessarily a problem with the glass itself. Okay. So avidya is something like that. Avidya serves a purpose. See, the dark glasses are useful when the sunlight is unbearable. Okay. So the thing is, we generally tend to find a problem outside of what we are doing. So I think what Swami is saying is, a person who knows what is the role of glasses, he will not blame it. He will say, oh, I shouldn't have worn this. And he will keep it aside. And so he will know what the real issue is, me wearing that glass at the inappropriate time. So the same way, the person, Jnani, will not find fault with anything. He will use it appropriately. That is my understanding, sister. So the same thing, when it's used inappropriately, will create something wrong. And so a person who knows how to use it will use it properly. If I use a knife and cut, I can't blame the knife. Knife will cut, but how do I use it? That is what determines whether it becomes bad or not.
Okay, thank you.
And then I change the process. I think that's my understanding. I hope, I think Sister Anandi's discussion also sort of is addressed. So we can use it, but use it with knowledge. That is the most important. So we don't have to get scared of using the knife. We should know knife cuts, how to use it, and then use it. If we use it without that knowledge, it will cut.
Thank you very much.
That's very good. Yeah.
So, Sharon brother, I like the first sentence. That everyone has a nature, they have jnana, but because of the Maya, we are becoming ajnana. So when you remove that Maya, then it's like a dark, dark when the lights comes, dark gone. Same way, when the ajnana is gone, the jnana is there, then ajnana won't come back. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Sairam, Paul, you had mentioned that avidya has a purpose, but like, can you elucidate, like, what is the purpose of avidya?
I think Sister Anandi has already spoken about it. In this world, as long as we are because we are living in this world, which is a creation of avidya itself. Okay, there we need to, it has a purpose. See, if without that we can't function in this world. So you use it only as a tool, but you don't become a victim of the tool, is my understanding. Okay, so the thing is that then if you use it like a knife, is it bad thing? For a child, you will say knife is bad, don't touch it. That's what you will say. You're a small child, if the child picks up the knife, you'll say, don't touch it, it'll cut, or don't put your hand there, electric shock, you will get an electric shock. When the fan is, so for the child, because it does not know, you tell you be careful. Okay, but that doesn't mean the fan doesn't serve a purpose or the knife doesn't serve a purpose. Okay, so in this world, everything is created by God. But the problem comes when we use it without knowledge of what it is, how it should be used, why it should be used, where it should be used. It has, everything in this life has a purpose. And when we do use it with full knowledge, good will come out of even that. Good will come out of even that. So Swami will scold somebody, okay? Then people say, oh, why did he get angry? He should not be getting angry. He's actually not getting angry. He will use that as a tool to fix a problem. As a doctor will cut open the body and do a surgery. Because is he doing a bad thing? No, he knows it's a tool. I use it for a particular purpose. But if the same doctor uses it to cut everyone with anger, then it's a problem. So that's what I meant. Avidya is also an instrument, which is the God. Swami has used, even Ajnana Shakti also Swami has called. That is also sometimes useful in certain occasions, in certain aspects in this world, in this created world. That's my understanding. So we need to get to understand what it is. I think that's what Swami is trying to say. Understand that it is avidya working, and when you're aware of it, you will use it well. That's my understanding. I hope I answered your question, or I don't know, further confused you.
No, that makes sense. So Swami says that the purpose of all our lives is to, I guess, attain enlightenment. So you use avidya to get rid of avidya.
Yeah. Exactly. Use the thorn even to remove a thorn, as they say. It's a purpose. Okay, shall we go to the next slide? I think that is the last slide of Sandeha Nivarini, but doubt go on by the time we finish it. So we'll read that side.
Bhakta, how can it be said the Maya has no origin or hetu? Just as the potter's handiwork is the hetu for the clay to take the form of the pot, the sankalpa of Ishvara is essential for the force latent in Brahman to become patent. Swami, in the final dissolution or Mahapralaya, Ishvara too will become non-existent. Brahman alone will exist, isn't it? Then how can the sankalpa of Ishvara be the hetu? It cannot be. While considering this subject, you should not take Brahma, Vishnu, and Ishvara as three separate entities. These three are forms shaped by the three gunas. All three are one Paramatma. But since it is difficult to understand the working of the world, it is explained and grasped as three forms engaged in three types of actions, bearing three names. At the time of creation, dissolution is absent. Both can coexist only beyond time. Man who exists in time, action, and cause can never hope to grasp it. When you transcend the three gunas, you too can attain that, but not till then. So without spending time in such ununderstandable problems, engage yourself in the things you urgently need, traversing the path which will lead you to the goal.
Thank you very much, sister. So I will again open it. I think Swami is, there's nothing much for me to add. I will open that for discussion. Anyone can share your thoughts. Sorry. So I thought I will just mention, Swami is equating the Maya even beyond Shiva, Vishnu, because they are the gunas. So he's saying Maya is part of Brahman. So it existed before even Ishvara appeared. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Ishvara itself is a hetu of the, Maya is the hetu for even Ishvara.
Saguna
Ishvara,
Brahman, what you call Saguna Brahman.
Saguna Brahman.
Saguna Brahman is Ishvara.
Yeah.
So what is this sentence is saying then? These three are forms shaped by three gunas. What is that?
Actually, Sairam brother, can you? I remember that Ishvara, that is Rudra, Ishvara, is out of tamas, and other two, I am not very sure about that. Vishnu is for Sattva or Brahma Sattva. I think Brahma Sattva and Vishnu Rajas.
Rajas, yes. That's my understanding.
Yeah, Rajas, correct.
Yeah. So Brahma. So out of these three gunas came these three trinities to create, protect, and dissolve.
Dissolution.
So Brahma came out of Sattva, and Brahma and Vishnu came out of Rajas, and Ishvara came out of Tamas. So when we transcend all these three gunas, then we are Brahman. So one step below the Brahman is Prakriti, or the Prakriti is in the form of three gunas. That is the immediate 1 degree step down from Brahman. So because of that 1 degree step down, which is Prakriti, works as three forces. And these three forces creates these three trinity, three gods. And then creation, protection, and dissolution takes place always. And Baba also saying that at the time of creation, dissolution is absent. Because when it is created, the dissolution can't be there. No? So that is also Bhagawan is saying, because so all these can coexist only beyond time. So within time, space, and causation, or the time, space, prabhanjam, this creation, this cannot exist together at the same time. Only beyond time and space they can exist. That is in Brahma. In Brahma, they are coexistent. That's a meaning. Another meaning of this.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Sairam brother, this is the important thing we have to think about, the transcend the three gunas. So we are caught into the Maya. So once we come out from the Maya, we can definitely merge with God. But we have to surrender everything to the God with love. And we should not think we are the doer. So we are doing God's work. So when you don't have the fruit of the action, then definitely the God will take us to the other side of the mundane of existence. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please?
Eventually, he concludes that the urgent need for us to follow the path which will be useful for us to reach the goal rather than too much, too much dwelling on these understandable things. That's also important.
Yeah.
Ununderstandable problems.
Understandable, yeah. Yeah. Then we are doing that's what Bhagavan is saying. There is no point now. Actually, the philosophy has no meaning. Actually, philosophy, the teachers and the acharyas put forward these philosophies to help us, but it has a limitation. Yeah, any philosophy.
Yeah, exactly. It's useful to some extent, but we shouldn't be overindulge in those.
Because we can't go to Advaitam without Dvaitam, no? Definitely, no? So without God's grace, it is impossible. All the Shastras and all the Jnanis have said it. So that is very nice. Out of this Maya comes these avatars, no? In the dream world, the avatar comes to wake up our dream. So that's what Baba said, I am not, when he said, I am not Maya, that in that incident, he didn't refer to his body and anything. He's his true self. The true self is not Maya. So that power has to come and bless us to get to stop asking the question. That's a blessing. Huh? Samsayatma vinasjari. Sratavan labade jnanam. Samsayatma vinasjari. Doubting people will get destroyed. So, as Brother Wilson said, our thing is practice, spiritual discipline. Spiritual discipline and get rid of these 6 vices. The Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Macharya vices. No? Thank you, Sairam. Others can say and
Brother, one more thing, please, because I'm also trying to understand before end here. The both can coexist only beyond time. Which one they are referring here?
Beyond time means in Brahman level, because
both can coexist.
Both means creation and
Dissolution.
Dissolution. Both creation and dissolution can exist beyond.
Absent. Okay. Thank you.
See, Swami is basically describing the goal, but he says you won't understand the goal until you reach there.
Yeah.
So you just see, it's, for example, we are going to a new city. You know, all the description is of no use until you go and see it. So the description is given, so one day you will try to go towards that place. And Swami says, now, you know, without going, you can't imagine, oh, it'll be like this, it'll be like that. He said, it's a waste of time. Okay. You just take the next step and walk towards that goal. I think that's what Swami is talking about. So, Sister, I think Ananti had something to say. Sorry.
So what is the word of the hedu? I know in my printed script I have the no origin or cause. With the bracket they put hedu. Is that Sanskrit word or how can it be said illusion has no origin or cause? Hedu.
Hetu is a Sanskrit word. It has meaning of karanam. Cause.
They translate as origin. It's not very origin.
In Tamil also, you have the word, sister, which is called edu.
Yeah.
Eduva means so it's the same. It has come from the Sanskrit word hetu. So it is the reason or cause, whatever you want to say. Origin.
Okay.
Cause, yeah.
They put it as origin here. That is not very good word.
Not accurate, not a very good translation. Yeah. Even cause is also maybe not necessarily, but so that's all I would say.
Any other word, you know? Arun, any other word?
No, I don't know. That's all I can say.
But yeah, the cause can be
Karanam, that's all.
Karanam. That is
yeah.
Karanam is another word.
Yeah.
we can say Utpatti Haranam. In Tamil, Utpatti Karanam.
For the birth of something which is a Karanam.
Yeah.
Primary cause, they say.
Primary.
Moola Karanam, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Cause may be a better translation than origin.
Yeah.
One more sentence, please. Can you please explain the man who exists in time, action, and cause can never hope to grasp it? What does that mean?
We usually say Kala, Desa, Vartamanam in Sanskrit, but here the time, space, and causation. But when you ask scientists, they say time and space. Without time and space, nothing exists. So here Bhagavan is putting action. So I was not aware of this word action. Usually they say time, space, and
Causality. Causality.
Causality. Yeah. So
Swami has used the word in Telugu, Kala, Karma,
Karanam.
Kala, Karma,
Kala, Karma, Karanam.
So man.
Kala is time, Karma is action. Karna is cause.
So the whole Prabanyam is with time, action, and cause. So we are living in that. We are living in this Prabanyam. So when the Prabanyam gets removed, then we will understand our true form. So until such time, until we are trapped in this time, action, causality, we cannot understand. That's what Bhagavan is saying.
So there's a nice sister. One I recollected one of the discourses of Swami. When Swami was talking about these three, one day he said, you are students, he was telling, you are in the hostel. Okay. And you say, oh, we have to go to Mandir. You are in the hostel, you have to go to Mandir. So that creates a reason, okay, cause. Then you say, I have to walk. Okay, then what you do, you have to walk all the way from the hostel to the Mandir. That is the karma action.
Action.
When that action takes time, it will take about 10 minutes, 15 minutes for you to reach.
Yeah.
Because you are far away from me, you have to cross all these three to come and see me.
Yeah.
Okay. So as long as you are far away, these three you have to cross. And then you come and reach.
That's very good, brother.
Yeah, that's
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So you should thank Swami. So Swami says, this is what you said. As long as you are far away, these three will be in play until you reach.
Yeah.
Okay. So in a very simple way of explaining by Swami.
Yeah.
Sai Ram, uncle, one quick question. I know you were talking about how Maya is even above Ishvara. It's something so close to Brahman. Like, is it, and it says, Swami had said it is within Brahman, but how can, if Brahman is only one, so it can't have two parts to it. So can you say that Maya is like Brahman manifest, when Brahman manifested as Maya?
You could say, it is matter and energy if you want to understand.
Yeah.
See, there's always this confusion in this world. Is there energy or is it matter? The matter, many scientists have even analyzed atom. Now they still don't know whether it's matter or energy. Still the confusion is going on. But Swami will say actually both are the same. Which is what, as you said, it's one is potent, one is late, or will manifest. So the thing is, you can say it's a manifestation. It's a Shakti of the Brahman itself is Maya. That's the way I think in a couple of places Swami has mentioned. It's like is the fragrance part of the flower? What is fragrance? Is it the flower? Or, it is all in it. The fragrance is in the flower. It's so Maya actually is like that, is my understanding. Okay. So you can't separate. It is not even two different things. It is Brahman in action. You can put it that way. So it's. I think again, it's all we are still caught in time, cause, and.
Your first one is better, brother, because the flower and fragrance are two things, So better is that what you said, the energy and matter. So energy is matter as well, actually. So matter is energy is matter. So matter can be in the form of energy, and the energy can be reverted back to matter. So one is existing. So that is one and two phases. That something like that.
So, Sairam, brother, can you explain like this? Okay, Purusa and the Prakriti. Purusa is the plus, and that Prakriti is the minus. So that is Shakti. That is created the all this Prakriti, but both are one. So Maya is part of the Paramatma.
Yeah, but the Kalyani's question is why there's two things, energy and matter, or Brahman and Maya. Why the two words are used here? So even the sun and light as two things. It can be argued as one, but still it's a duality is there, sun and sunlight. So that's what we can say. Matter energy, matter is now in the form of energy. Energy can become matter. That is the E equals mc squared, the formula, no? So that's what. Thank you, Sayara. Time is over.
Could it be, brother? Could it be like how it is called in science, latent energy? Like it's latent, it's hidden, and then when it takes form, then it's energy.
Yes, thank you, sister.
Yeah, that's what good. That's what Bhagawan is saying, actually. Yeah.
Kalyan, you okay?
Thank you.
Okay. So I think we have come. It's a very successful journey. I think over 1 year. Hopefully, our doubts. Swami says, if you have any more doubts, stop it and do do what you have to do. Because you have doubts, because you cannot understand. That's what Swami has said. And I think throughout the Vahini, Swami has given us so many instructions, so many things for us to practice, work on the vasanas, work on the Arishad work as the 6 qualities. There is numerous instructions. I don't know how and when we can all practice all of them, but I think Swami says, go back and read and find out what we have to work on and work on it. So one day you will come to the destination, the goal. That's what I understand. At least it took us 1 year, so much time. We had the motivation, the cause, and we sat week after week and studied. So at least we have studied this, and hopefully Swami will help us to put into practice whatever we have studied. Those are my words. I don't know if anyone has something to say.
Thank you so much, brother.
Arun, next book, what are we studying?
So, so one of the things, Santi, we a few of us who were involved was saying that because the summer has started, the COVID is lifting up. Having many sessions may be a bit challenging for people to dedicate, because though there are one family member in each home is interested in study cycle, but the rest of the family will say, you have been doing this for 1 year, why don't you take us here? Or their children will bother mothers and mothers. So we thought we will go back to one session for the time being. So I think Sunday we plan to continue, and we will see how things are when the summer ends, and then when people are more homebound, maybe if there is motivation, we can pick up one more.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable.
That is the thought. And I think some people felt, it was a heavy course. We need a small vacation. The school term has to, we need to. I think there was some requests from that side also.
Okay.
Because, so we thought we will give everyone a small break, time to digest what we have learned, and maybe put something into practice. But we will continue the Sunday session for the time being.
Okay.
That is the thought process.
I think so. I think it's fine.
there's another aspect, because there is so much confusion about the organization and so on, also causes some challenges. But I think for the time being, we'll continue with the Sunday, because I think Dhyana Vahini is not complete yet. At least 2 or 3 more weeks, I think we'll go, I guess. We will see. So the Saturday session will more or less not be there for the time being. Whatever Swami wishes will happen.
Yeah, sure.
But we will all keep in touch, I guess. We will get the word out. I think Sister Aruna has a list of people who have signed up and asked. So I think we will still continue to use and inform, because ultimately it's all send the word across. Because we will have one session at least going, there will be some connection. I think Sister Kalyani, we will send out maybe tomorrow or day after, we'll put out some contact information and keep, so that people can sign up. Maybe we should have a Google form or something like that, so that way everyone is in touch. I'm thinking of that. Then we will go from there. Is it okay? And if there's anything, you can personally let us know. And we'll keep in touch, Saira.
So I'd like to thank you for Brother Arno and the participants, especially Auntie Mani Auntie, because both of them were with Baba Swami, and Swami also listening to our study circle every single day. So, and we are blessed to have Auntie Mani Auntie, because one who wrote the Vibhuti Mantra, I like to hear that one from her mouth also, because she's an instrument, but still we are lucky to have our study circle. We are so blessed, and we learned a lot of things, amazing knowledge. Even we understood what is the meaning of love, devotion, dispatch, and peace, and the path for the self-realization. So I don't want to take much time. All the participants, they didn't miss even one day. They all into the study circle. We grasped a lot of knowledge. Thank you to Swami. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. So we have tomorrow Sundays, no? So I don't want to say farewell. So thank you both of you actually. Swami's.
Yeah, thank you both of you, and Brother Sivadas in this study circle and coordinating well. That's and as Brother Sivadas mentioned, we'll have tomorrow's study circle too. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Siren.
I also just wanted to mention to everyone, on the 23rd of this month, July, there is a program at Scarborough Center. We are celebrating Guru Purnima and the 10th anniversary of the building, during which Auntie Mani Auntie is going to speak and share some of her time when she was in the old mandir and the new mandir time. It will be a very good event. So please mark your calendars. It is Friday, 23rd July. Auntie will be speaking roughly around from 7 to 8 or 8:15.
It's in person, brother?
So, it will be streamed definitely, but we still don't know how many people can attend. I think we are still 15%. I don't know whether it's 25% or not. So we were thinking of first come, first serve, in the sense, because that's the idea today, because though the center has been open for occupancy, 15% is roughly about 200 people. So no, not even 150 people. We have not had that many attending at the center. But at least you can definitely watch out for that. That's why I said mark your calendars, whether you can personally come and see or whether you can watch it. Definitely is going to be streamed. So hopefully you can mark your calendars, Saira.
So Mani Auntie will be coming in person.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah? Oh,
she has
okay.
to come in person.
Oh, Mani Auntie, we are waiting to see you, Mani Auntie.
Sai Ram, this is Aku Auntie. I thank Swami. I thank Aruna, and Mani Bhashyam Auntie, Sivadas, Dasan, all of you. I would like to thank you forever and ever. Saira.
Also one little the moment I want to catch from this one as a final close. Even the chapter itself, it's a Sandeha Nivarini. The patience and the all of our really hard, sometimes dumb questions also, it would have taken rephrased appropriately and given so much the respect to those questions and answered kindly by Brother Aruno and Brother Sivadas. Even when we ask the 100 times without saying the Anand, you asking a very dumb question, or how many times you have asked this question without gelling at us, as Swamis, if Swami stays there, sometimes Swami would have yelled at us, but without doing that, so much, the compassion and so much, the kindness, all of these, the routine, the participants, they have given us so much love, and they taught us very kindly. On behalf of all of the participants, I really thank. The Swami has given so much blessing through all of these, the regular participants. That is a really, I would thank my the favorite Mani auntie. It's like Swami coming into our study circle. Suddenly she came and they gave us so much. When she read in the Telugu, I always bring into my mind this Swami talking. I draw. It's like a honey voice, and it's so much thing. We have really enjoyed through this pandemic time. So. First of all, I would thank Swami and the rest of the regular participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you everybody, each and everybody, including Aruna and everybody, Aruna, everybody. And especially we have to thank, I think brother will agree, we have to thank Kalyani, Narmada, everybody. And there is no exception. But the thing is, we have to thank the people who ask questions of various kinds. No, first number one is Kalyani. So,
yes.
yeah. So though without those questions, this study circle would not have been a vibrant one. It could be dull, boring, sleeping, and if there's no question. So the only question made it lively. I am very 100% sure. And also, only the questions brought other knowledges into this 1 hour. If there's no question, we will not be quoting other text or other knowledges and bring it here. So without questions, nothing. So especially we see Kalyani, Anandi, Arul is not here today. Arul and so many others, and Aruna, Sister Aruna. So many others ask questions. That is very beautiful. Thank you everybody. Thank you, Zaira. Brother, thank you.
Okay. I will echo what Brother Sivadas said. The thing is, because even though, I've also read Sandeha quite a few times, this 1 year has been very enlightening for me also, because of the questions, as Brother nicely said, because it makes you think, even though you have learned something, sometimes you have forgotten. So it brings back to your memory, it clarifies things much better. So we have thoroughly benefited. You may think I have a compassion. I look forward to the weekend, because my own understanding has tremendously grown, I would say, in this 1 year. Thanks to people who have asked questions, because sometimes we are incapable of asking questions ourselves, you see. So when others ask questions, so that is also a gift from God. Even the Sandeham has to be there for it to be removed. Okay. So it was very, very nice. Everyone contributed in their own way, unique way. It was a wonderful thing. So I will ask Mani Aunty if is she still around. She seems to have dropped off. So if it's okay, otherwise I thought I will ask her to chant the Vibhuti mantra. Maybe we'll catch her.
We'll catch her tomorrow.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
We will close with Samastaloka and Shanti. Okay, Sai Ram. It's too late, I guess. Sai. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, brother.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank you. Thank
Sai
you.
Ram.
Sai Ram.